Welcome to today's podcast. This is your Rubies of Grace host, Rose Inyama. Rubies of Grace podcast promote the principles of love, respect, mutual agreement, unity, integrity, and trust within our diverse relationships. We're God's jewels beautifully crafted to radiate His image and light in this world. It is such a pleasure to be sharing this podcast on relationships matter with you. I do hope that you can come with me on this journey for us to better our relationships because relationships matter. Today's podcast on respect is the third in our core relationship concept podcast series that we'll be considering. What actions of others towards you screams respect to you? This is a question I'd like us to consider to set the scene for today's podcast. Can I also ask you what actions of others towards you screams disrespect to you? Do you feel respected when you do not feel criticized or belittled? Do you feel respected when you do not feel ignored? Do you feel respected when your feelings are not dismissed? Do you feel respected when you do not feel that your opinions are being undermined? Do you feel respected when you're consulted prior to or carried along during certain decision-making processes? Do you feel respected when you do not feel controlled? Do you feel respected when your friend, your spouse, or your partner shows interest in your well-being? Do you feel respected when there is no dishonesty or secrecy looming in your relationships? These are just a few possible examples of how one could feel or view themselves as being respected. Now I want you to think about your friend, your partner, or your spouse. Think about their own views or how they feel respected. What screams respect to them, or what perhaps screams disrespect to them. Have you considered finding out? I was informed by a friend several years ago that the best gift or present that you can give to someone else is not just the gift that you want, but rather the gift they will want to receive. As an example, I might like flowers or certain types of flowers for myself. And I might decide, I'm going to buy this flower for my friend, my very close friend, as a gift. At that time, for my friend, what they might prefer might be a card with some lovely words written in the card, or perhaps certain other gifts, because to them words mean so much than just a flower. They might still appreciate my gift, my flower given to them, but I believe they'll appreciate more a card with such lovely words, or perhaps a plaque or a frame with pictures and words that will mean more to them and that they can treasure and keep for longer than the flower that might not last as long as those cards will. Not that the flower is bad, but that flower in this particular example is what I prefer. I love to get a flower, but that's not what my friend prefers at that time. That could be similar to respect. What you consider as respectful or disrespectful, if I should use that word as well, might be very different from what your friend, your partner, or your spouse considers as respectful or disrespectful. Think about our previous podcast where we talked about communication. We talked about active listening. We talked about verbal and non-verbal communication. And we talked a bit more on the tone of voice. That can be both a verbal communication strategy and also have a lot of non-verbal communication cues. It could set the moment in that communication. It could give you a clue as to pause take a break. Or when we raise the pitch of our voice, the volume of our voice, or talk too fast or drag our speech, how do the people we're communicating or we're trying to convey a message to, how do they consider it? Could that be disrespectful, perhaps? Have you ever thought about that? Some people might say it's not what you say, but how you say it. And it makes all the difference to that communication, to whatever message you're trying to convey. And it could scream respect, or it could scream disrespect, just because of the tone of voice, just because of active listening. If somebody is not engaging with you, does that scream disrespect? Do you do the same to other people? Respect in friendships is so essential if our goal is to build meaningful, supportive, or lasting connections. When friends respect each other, a safe space for honesty, growth, and joy is created. Mutual respect is fundamental, and we should all strive for this. We should aim for this. We should work towards mutual respect. And the Bible text for today's podcast will be taken from the book of Romans, chapter 12, verse 10. And we'll read from the King James Bible version. It says, "Be kindly affectioned one to another with brotherly love, in honor, preferring one another." That is the reading of God's word. The key point I want us to bear in mind is, in honor, preferring one another. I'm aware that there may be some cultural influences or undertones or hints of what we may consider as respect or disrespect in our various relationships. I decided not to dwell on cultural nuance and to check out what AI has to say about respect and honor. I was quite intrigued with my findings. Honor and respect are related, I found out, but they are distinct concepts. Both honor and respect signify positive regard for someone or something, but with different nuances. While respect is a feeling of admiration for someone or something based on their qualities or achievements, honor, on the other hand, often implies a higher level of esteem, sometimes associated with social standing or reputation. Respect can be earned through actions, while honor can be given based on a person's position or inherent value. Wow. Can you think about your relationships? Think about respect, think about honor. The Bible verse we read this morning encourages us to, in honor, prefer one another. In honor, prefer one another. Honor can be given based on a person's position or inherent value. In your relationship, the people you have a relationship with, whether it's familial, romantic, or platonic, or even professional, what is their position in your relationship? What is the inherent value of those people to you? Do you value them as much? Do you rate them as valuable in your relationship? If that is the case, then honor can be given to them. It doesn't matter what their status might be, but it's the value you have placed on them. It's the person's position to you. In a romantic relationship, do they occupy a position in your heart? If they occupy a significant position in your heart, honor can easily be given to them. Respect, I also found out, is a deep admiration for someone or something based on their qualities, their abilities, or their achievements. In your relationships, do you have deep admiration for your friend? Do you have deep admiration for your partner? Do you have deep admiration for your spouse? Is it based on their qualities? Is it based on their abilities or achievements? Respect can be earned by demonstrating positive qualities such as kindness, integrity, or competence. Respect can be shown through basic courtesy and consideration for others. In the previous podcast, we talked about a character being your asset, and then we looked at it from a different dimension. What are you wearing? Are you wearing kindness? Are you a person of integrity? Are you competent? If you are, respect can easily be earned. What about your partner? Do you show them basic courtesy and consideration? That can be a way of expressing respect to them. I found out that honor is a higher form of respect, often associated with social standing, reputation, or adherence to a code of conduct. I found out that honor can be bestowed upon someone based on their position, their accomplishments, or adherence to principles. Honor can also be a personal commitment to living by one's values and fulfilling one's obligations. When you're committed to live by your values and fulfill your obligations, that is honor. The Bible admonishes us to prefer one another in honor, and which we found out in this podcast that it's a higher form of respect. Do you struggle with showing respect to one another when you're actually expected to honor one another? Respect or honor is not at all gender specific, but it can be gender sensitive as we perceive and desire to receive respect differently. Further findings about respect and honor that I'd like to share with you. Respect is often earned through actions and behavior, while honor can be given based on someone's position or inherent worth. Some consider honor to be a posture of the heart, as well as a willingness to treat someone as special and worthy, even if their actions don't immediately warrant it. You still treat them as special and worthy, and you show them honor because of their position, because you have chosen to have that posture of heart and that willingness to treat them as special or worthy. Honor is more closely tied to social standing and reputation, while respect can be based on a wider range of qualities and achievements. Here, honor can be perceived as reverence. We may come across this popular quote that respect is earned. I'd like to ask you, how do you earn respect? If you want to be respected, did you earn it? How can your friend, your partner, your spouse earn your respect? I reckon that if we honestly ponder on these questions and endeavor to answer them genuinely, we may realize that we may unconsciously have unfair or unreasonable expectations and yardsticks for determining who and how they can earn our respect. Perhaps you respect a skilled doctor because of their medical expertise, or other professionals, or even your boss at work. These people may have earned your respect, but can I ask you, how did they manage to earn your respect? Have you ever thought about that? Is this an unconscious action, or is it really an intentional action that they have earned your respect? How about cases where you might honor a community leader for their dedication and service to others? This can be termed as giving honor. Are we in a place where we exhibit some unconscious bias to who is eligible to earn our respect? Why is this the case? Have you thought about that? What may have triggered this position of unconscious bias where we allow certain people to earn our respect and not others? Could this result from our upbringing or societal norms and influence that these have on us? If the Bible admonishes us to prefer one another in honor, which we have found to be a higher form of respect, will this awareness reshape the unconscious bias and enable you to be more inclusive in showing respect to others? Will you reconsider and resolve to become more intentional in showing respect by identifying what your partner, your friend, or your spouse considers as respectful acts? In essence, while both honor and respect are positive, honor implies often a degree of greater admiration and esteem. In our relationships, honor should not only be associated with a higher social or moral standing, but mutual among friends, among partners, or spouses. I do hope that today's podcast will ignite a desire to nurture your relationships and consider areas where you need to make a change, adapt, or perhaps add more juice, which implies to add vigor, energy, interest, and excitement. Tune in for more. Until next time, do your best because relationships matter.